Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Movie Nights Roundtable Live. It is me, Dalton Burdett, with the amazing Nick Iricchio. As always, Nick, how are you, sir?
Dino-rific, buddy. How are you?
God damn it. You know, I
Starting
gotta tell
early.
you,
Starting early.
we're starting early, and we're gonna get real quick. We're gonna get
Actually,
real
we're starting
quick.
late.
Technically, yes. And speaking to that, dude, I have had a doozy of a week. It has been a fucking week, buddy. I've been looking forward to this all week. Just doing this. Ever since we did the show Monday to now has been a fucking blur. Tuesday, whenever we did the fucking show previously, it has been a blur, my friend. I have been dying busy. Some of it good, some of it was fun. But a lot of it was just I have not had a fucking second. I got a fucking monster live. I've said fuck like 14 times within the first minute. We're not going to get any advertisers. That's fine, though. You know, it might as well how it goes with my week. Dude, my week was so shit. I started a political argument in a family group chat. Do you know how shit your week has to be to take that step? It's got to be bad. It's got to be bad. Boomer move. It was a boomer move, and I'm better than that. And, you know, I gave in. But that's not what we're here to do.
That sometimes, but thank God there's movies.
Thank God there's movies is right. And speaking of thanking God there's movies, thank God there are dinosaur movies, specifically a new Jurassic World movie, which we're going to dive into that trailer. But to the best part, we're going to be ranking the Jurassic Park franchise. And I have not seen... Post the receipts, Ryan Santos says in the group chat. Hell no. I have not seen Nick's list for his ranking. And I'm very excited to almost kind of react to your picks live. I have no idea what they are.
To counter that, I made the PowerPoint, so I have Dalton's picks.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit funnier because he knows what's going on.
And we're all going to be really calm and chill, and this probably will not be worse than Dalton's political argument with his family. It probably will be, actually,
definitely not.
Because we're probably going to be a lot more biased toward the Jurassic Park franchise.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Arguing over dinosaurs gets way more personal than arguing over politics. But, guys, with that, first, before we dive into our ranking, we need to talk about that trailer, that amazing... amazing. I was in host mode there. The trailer that exists for Jurassic World Rebirth, is that what it's called?
Yes, Rebirth.
Great. I'm going to your beautiful PowerPoint, buddy.
Oh, why, thank you.
There's a little thumbnail that you probably clicked on, unless we changed it. Who knows? But I think it looks good. I think it looks really good. I'm still on one, dude. I'm gonna be like this the whole show. I'm just letting you know. But yeah, there it is. And here's what we know about Jurassic World Rebirth. First of all, we know it's directed by Gareth Edwards, who directed films like Rogue One, and The Creator is what he recently directed. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali. True Detective Season 3, and the basic plot. It's 5 years post-Jurassic World Dominion. An expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. Proof that I can read. We struggled on the last show, not this time. And, the trailer... Here's my thought. Oh, no, go back. I gotta get rid of that. I spoiled... Dude, we're all over the place.
Oh, boy.
It's a week, but it's okay. So... with the actual trailer, let's talk about it a little bit. So, I thought it was fine. I thought it looked really good. I think the movie star power is there with Scarlett Johansson, with Mahershala Ali, and honestly with Jonathan Bailey. He's quickly becoming a really great movie star that I think is really cool to see. He was in a really good episode of Doctor Who in the Peter Capaldi era, which I enjoyed. He was in Time Heist.
Jonathan Bailey was?
Yeah.
Jonathan Bailey was in Time Heist on Doctor Who?
He plays the cyborg guy with the thing on his head. Nick's looking it up because he doesn't believe me. I swear to God it's true. And guess who pointed it out?
Who?
Hannah. Because I was showing her random Peter Capaldi Doctor Who episodes, and I turned Time Heist on, and she goes, "That's Jonathan Bailey." And dude, when you look at him in the show, it doesn't even look like him. I'm like, no, it's not. And she goes, that's Jonathan Bailey. I looked it up, and to my own surprise, it was Jonathan Bailey. It was.
What the heck? Hold on. Just
Nick is fascinated by this.
hold on. Which PowerPoint slide are you on?
I am on. Hold on. Let me fix it before.
Just go back to Rebirth. I pasted an image of it in the chat, or not in the chat, but on the slide itself.
Okay, hang on. Going back.
Just so the folks at home can see what we're talking about. That is Jonathan
okay.
Bailey in Doctor Who, apparently.
Hold on. There it is. Yes.
When he looks
Ignore
like
the
he
words.
actually could be in a high school and or college and not 50 like in Wicked.
Correct. But, first of all, let's not throw too much shade. I like Jonathan Bailey. But yes, that was him in that Doctor Who episode, which I thought was interesting.
About
now,
that, I'm getting rid of it.
All right, now let's dive into the trailer. My brief thoughts. I thought it was okay. I thought that Scarlett Johansson, like I said, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, all provided good movie star-ishness to it. I think it looks great. Anything Gareth Edwards makes visually looks amazing. You know, I had problems with the Creator movie, but it looked gorgeous. It was stunning, and I think we're gonna get that with this as well. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that there are a lot of interesting things going on, like cool hybrid dinosaurs. You know, they're at the original testing facility, which is cool, but this trailer felt like just... Most teaser trailers don't tell you what the movie is about. It's just like, here's what it is. Isn't it cool? This one had all the exposition. Like, this is the island where they train the dinosaurs. And this, and this, and this. And it just explained so much, like, as it was going. And I was like, okay, they really wanted to know what this movie was right away. They really wanted us to know. But I mean, I think it looks fine. From your attitudes previous in the show, it looked like you were very excited about the trailer. So I'm going to give you your single, buddy. What were your thoughts on it?
You know, I did enjoy it. I think that there's elements of it, right? Dinosaur movie. I want to go see Big Dinosaur, right? Which is why I really like the Godzilla Kong franchise. I want to see the big monkey fight the big lizard. You know, I want the dinosaurs. And looking back at like Dominion, right? They really went for a more character focused approach, which the dinosaurs then were kind of there, you know, and that's not why I'm watching these movies. But, you know, when you're in the trailer, you hear the line of dialogue, these were the dinosaurs that were too dangerous for the park. That piques my interest. You know, I like that we're going back to sort of a mission aspect of it. I think that's some of my favorite elements of the Jurassic Park movies is that mission. You know, we're going with purpose, not just for the dinosaurs. I think the mutant dinosaur, I'm not sold on that, but you know, they're adapting what apparently is an awesome scene from the book where they're like silently creeping on a dirt boat to not wake a T-Rex. You could
let me. I'm gonna butt in. I'm gonna butt in on you. Mm-hmm. I've actually read the Jurassic Park book. Mm-hmm. Everyone, please take a moment to understand that I did read a book. That scene fucking rules. And when I heard that it was going to be in this movie, I will say that did really excite me. I'm very excited to see that, you know, adaptation. But, and I'll throw it back to you in just a second because I kind of cut you off. Going to like, oh, these are the dinosaurs that were too dangerous for the park. It's like the other fucking dinosaurs weren't dangerous. Like, what do you mean?
There's always a bigger dinosaur.
Listen, I get it, right? But my whole thing is, like, these are the dinosaurs too dangerous for the park. So the T-Rex was fucking safe that you brought over there. What are you talking about?
And to New York.
And to New York. And I understand that, like, but they have to go bigger. They have to set it up. I understand. I get it.
Marketing,
and honestly, marketing. I may enjoy it. I'm not saying I'm not going to enjoy the movie. I might love it. As we'll get into our rankings, I love at least one movie in the franchise. But I just thought the trailer, it felt corporate. I think that's the word I'm looking for. The trailer felt very corporate to me. And but anyway, I'll throw it back to you because I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I think what they're doing is a lot of damage control, right? The last two, Jurassic World was solid, and I think the last two following that haven't really been that great. There was a short film that came out that I really enjoyed, Battle at Big Rock or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was really good, you know. But the thing is, Gareth Edwards, I think, is hit or miss. You know, all of his movies on IMDb, if you kind of look at them, they're all kind of hovering in that like 6.6 to 6.8 range. Box office wise, the creator didn't do too well. But here's the thing about Gareth Edwards: I think he's a great director when it comes to scale. I think that in
Mm.
Rogue One, the AT-ATs, everything just never felt bigger. Godzilla, fantastic size. Like the scale he's able to bring to these things is great. And I think personally that it's a great fit for the Jurassic Park franchise. And quite frankly, if you look at everything about this, the cast, the director choice, the plot, even, I think the most intriguing aspect to me is Gareth Edwards' direction. And I'm not saying he's oh my God, fantastic. He doesn't necessarily have like a distinct style, but I think he's a solid director. I think he's, so I think that that's going to be a nice element.
Yeah, no, and honestly, really good points that you brought up about him, Edwards being good at scale. Excellent point. That's incredibly true. And really quick, before we move on to our rankings, the short film, The Battle at Whatever Rock, did Trevorrow do that?
I believe so. I can fact check that. And also, just in the chat, Ryan Santo, Nick shares my philosophy of dinosaur movies: less talking, more fighting. He gets it. The worst part of all the Godzilla Kong movies is all of the exposition. What was it called?
And
Battle
the
of
humans.
Big Rock?
It was Battle of something. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Hold on. I believe it was Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah, Jurassic World short film. There's also Camp Jurassic, that little animated show.
Yeah, it is. He did do... No, he didn't. Jurassic World Dominion, Fallen Kingdom, Camp Cretaceous, Chaos Period. Who the hell directed this short film?
You heard it here
Let
first,
us
folks. We're
find
doing the
out.
detective work.
Sorry, folks. We should have had this prepped here. No, it was directed. It's just not on his IMDb. Weird.
Oh, you got gaslit. You
It
got
was
gaslit
Colin
hard.
Trevorrow. IMDb. What the fuck?
Get your shit together, IMDb. Look, if IMDb can put me on there, then they have problems. They have problems they need to sort out.
But I mean, listen. Overall, I am excited. I would say more so than some of the other trailers I've seen for things. It is a movie that I'm looking forward to.
No, 100%. And I'm gonna be there opening night for the movie. Of course I am. Look at me. Look at my room. Of course I'll be there. But yeah, that guys. What did you think of the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer? And we're gonna use that to segue into the good stuff, Nicholas. Our ranking of the Jurassic Park franchise. I still consider it the Jurassic Park franchise. I see others call it the Jurassic World franchise because there's technically more world movies than park movies now. Yeah. I don't like that. I call it the Jurassic Park franchise. But unsurprisingly, and again, I do not know your picks. Mm-hmm. By the way, do you want to let the audience know which column is mine and which one is yours?
Oh, yes. It should be correct with our camera positionings.
Okay.
So each person's ranking is above their head.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to leave it on here. We both picked
aesthetic over practicality.
Listen, I love it. I love it, buddy. So we both put Jurassic World Dominion in last place. That tracks. That makes sense to me.
It was disappointing, especially bringing back the original cast. And like I just said previously, way too much bugs, giant flying cicadas. I can speak sometimes. Being a bigger threat than the dinosaurs. It felt like there was not really an organic reason for all the legacy cast members to come back. I think that Jeff Goldblum has sort of reached a point too where, Dr. Ian Malcolm is played by Jeff Goldblum, but he's not like Jeff Goldblum, Like he still has like the quirks and mannerisms and everything, but if you look at his performance in Jurassic World Dominion, he's just doing Jeff Goldblum. It's the same as the Grandmaster in Thor. It's the same as the Wizard in Wicked. And it felt like it didn't feel like Malcolm to me personally, and it was just kind of a mess. It didn't mesh to me.
Yeah, no, that's all fair. For me, I agree with everything you said, with the addition of it was coming off of the heels of the promise of the last movie that we were finally going to get dinosaurs on open Earth. Yeah. And it just immediately did not do that. Like right away, it shut that down. There were a couple raptors that were out there That's about it.
Hey, forget about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
It was
now, granted, there was a character in the movie named Rain Delacourt,
true.
which is the coolest name that I've ever heard.
Top tier
So
name. Top
I
tier
do have to give
name.
it points for that. But hold on, Dalton. Do you want to hear something? Because we didn't go into this. I'm just going to go back to Rebirth really quick, if you don't mind. Can I just rattle off some of these character names? Because
go for it.
They're all awesome.
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson is Zora Bennett. Jonathan Bailey is Dr. Henry Loomis. Rupert Friend is Martin Krebs. Manuel Garcia Rolfo is Ruben Delgado, and I saved the best for last. Mahershala Ali's character's name is Duncan Kincaid.
Duncan Kincaid is his name?
Kincaid.
That Ruben is a Delgado. Fucking awesome name.
Say what you will about the Jurassic Park and World franchise. Great character names. Great character
all
names.
Around. All around. And,
yes.
and if you're a writer, coming up with character names is hard. Memorable ones, you know? But anyway, we both have Jurassic World Dominion last. Let's go next. I'm very curious here. Oh, we both have Fallen Kingdom next. Okay. Fallen Kingdom next. I'll go first on this one. The reason why I don't have this film in last place is because conceptually I think it does a few things well. Well, not even conceptually. In execution, that shot of them leaving that one dinosaur on the island as it burns is fucking devastating. And like that image like sat with me. I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. Like watching that. Because J.A. Bayona is a fantastic filmmaker. And you can tell that maybe that shot was probably one of the few parts of his vision that like made it through. Because this was an incredibly corporately made film. At least that's how it felt watching it. And, you know, the concept of dinosaurs trapped in a mansion, fun. I'll give you that. But then you have the other stuff like the clone kid, which they continued in the next movie, but still the clone kid I was not a huge fan of. And this bothered me way more than it should have. They're bidding dinosaurs on the black market, okay? And I'm going to get the amount slightly wrong, but know that I'm not far off, all right? They start bidding dinosaurs on the black market, and the bidding started at like $12 million. The fucking movie costs 10 times more than that. How are you going to start the bidding for dinosaurs at $12 million? It's a fucking dinosaur. How are their homes more expensive than a fucking raptor? Dude, I get way too angry about that. But it's true. It pissed me off when I watched the movie. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Even if that number's 20, if I'm wrong and that number's 20, that's too fucking low. It's still too fucking low. Way too low.
The amount of boardroom meetings, though, that probably they held trying to figure out the price of a dinosaur is probably kind of comical. Them trying to realistically determine how much a dinosaur should be.
That scene is easily 4 bidders only. They're all billionaires, and it starts at $1 billion. The scene's that easy. I just did it.
Yeah, less characters too.
Yeah.
I have it in 5th for many of the same reasons. You know, my thing was I was just also upset because when they get to that house and then the dinosaurs get loose, I was like, yo, are we going to get like a claustrophobic horror movie in this house where they're getting chased around by raptors like they're the ghosts or the murderers? Dinosaur haunted house? Yes, please. And then they immediately like get rid of that plan. And doesn't Chris Pratt tackle a raptor in this one?
I believe he does.
Yeah. Not great.
Oh. What was the little dinosaur?
Clone Kid was rough.
What was the little dinosaur that would just ram people with his head? It looked like a little baby. I liked that dinosaur.
It looked like the Pokemon.
Yes.
There's like a Pokemon that has like that, yeah.
Yes, I liked that dinosaur. I like that. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, if you don't mind.
This is
coming in 4th.
I think it's going to get nutty.
It's going to get nutty? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. What? You put The Lost World 4th?
Yes. Yes, I did.
I mean, look, I don't have it ranked that much higher, but
And you have Jurassic Park 3 in fourth.
I have Jurassic Park 3. Yes, the correct fucking answer.
Incorrect.
I'm going to you first.
Listen, I think that the Lost World Jurassic Park is a few things, right? One, T-Rex running around, was it New York or San Francisco, wherever the hell they were? That was rough for me. Wasn't a fan. You only brought back Dr. Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum, while he's a great character, right? But ultimately, I don't know. The first Jurassic Park movie is so good to me. I think it's, spoiler alert, the best one. But I think that it suffers from Jaws 2. Could never be Jaws.
Be very careful with the next fucking words you say about Jaws 2.
Well, I'm just saying, right? It's following Jaws 2, right? It's the same sort of concept, and
yeah.
I think that it reaches a point then where you're just disappointed by it because it's following excellence, and then after that, you just start not caring because now we're just having fun, right? So that's sort of my logic on it.
I'm not going to dive into Lost World until I get to it. I'm going to talk about Jurassic Park 3.
Go ahead.
So, Jurassic Park 3 is not good. It's pretty bad. There are a couple fun sequences in it that I will give it. One, the chase when they're in the airplane and the dinosaurs chasing them, I thought was very interesting. I thought the opening scene was very intriguing. I like William H. Macy as an actor. It was cool to see Sam Neill back. I thought the kid was annoying as shit. I immediately knew why the parents got divorced. It was because of that fucker. And I think that the whole concept of the kids surviving on their own on the island was cool. It was done in such a stupid fucking way. And however, I did like the sleazy Slysball character. The actor that's in The Brutalist and he plays Rhino and Craven. What's his name, Nick?
Alessandro Nisolova?
Yes. I believe he's in that, and I believe he plays the
He's also Nick Cage's
guy.
brother in Face Off.
Yes. I thought he knew what movie he was in. I thought he did a good job. But the movie's just overall, what are we doing? When you watch that movie, you end your thought with, what are we doing here? How did we get here? Why did this happen? And don't even get me started on the fucking dream sequence where the raptor talks to Dr. Alan Grant and says, Alan! Fucking ridiculous. There's Jurassic Park 3. It has some fun moments, but overall, it's kind of bad. I only put it above Dominion and Fallen Kingdom because I have fun. At its most fun was more fun than those two films. That's why.
Okay. I am going to disagree on many points here, but I will save that for my placement of Jurassic Park 3. I would also like to point out before we move on to number 3.
Yes.
Ryan Santos says, rocking with this Nick on this one. So,
God. You know what? Fine. Whatever. All right. Here we go. Oh my God.
I'll let you start.
No. Nick, there's only 2 fucking places left for you.
Chaos
and
bracket.
Jurassic Park 3, these fucking balloons in my image. And Jurassic Park 3 has not shown up yet.
Joker and Batman 89, these fucking balloons.
These goddamn balloons.
These are my balloons.
But listen.
Don't buy balloons.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit.
All right, I'm going first. I'm going to talk about The Lost World now. So, The Lost World Jurassic Park, also directed by Steven Spielberg, is a big step down from Jurassic Park. It doesn't have nearly as much charm, heart, and sense of awe that first film has. Comparison's The Thief of Joy, but it's true. It's just not nearly as good of a film. And it has a lot of story problems as well. Vince Vaughn character disappears halfway through the movie and just never be mentioned of again. That happens. The story in general, I didn't read the second book, I don't think. So I have no idea how accurate it is to the book. But, the story was a bit muddled with what they were trying to do. It was kind of like Dominion had a chance to fulfill the promise that this movie didn't fulfill, and that, dinosaurs are loose in the world. Still didn't quite fulfill it the way it kind of needed to, but there are great things about it. One, Spielberg directs this thing, and you see his fingerprints shine at some moment, specifically the moment when they're hanging off the cliff in the car and the glass starts breaking. That is some crazy tension shit, and it's one of the best directed sequences in the entire franchise. It's amazing. There's also several chase sequences with the dinosaurs I thought were really well done. And, just on a technical craft alone, it's better than all the other films I have listed. And I will say, this is the one movie I have not rewatched in a long time, so it could move up or down on a potential ranking in the future, depending on that rewatch. But the good things of the movie, like the sequences I mentioned, are seared into my brain. And, everything bad, it's just more of a letdown than it being overtly bad like the rest of the films, in my opinion. So those are my thoughts on The Lost World, Nicholas. Fucking go into Jurassic World and how it's somehow worse than Jurassic Park 3. Fucking
listen,
Jesus.
I think that it was a solid relaunching of the franchise as a whole, right? I think it does suffer from a bit of Force Awakens syndrome, where I do enjoy Force Awakens quite a bit, but man, they just shit the bed on the back half of those. I do like all the new legacy characters. I really like Bryce Dallas Howard's character. I thought Vincent D'Onofrio was a great villain, and sort of the idea of looking to weaponize these creatures I found very interesting. But and I appreciate the scale, because I think they did a good job of like capturing in this movie what a theme park is. Like I looked at that and the way they set it up and the way they built it, and I thought, yeah, that's exactly how I would picture Jurassic World, including the Margaritaville. So I do think it's a solid revamp of the franchise and the series, but I think the way the franchise continues does diminish the value over time. And I don't think that any of the newer characters still are even as interesting as any of the legacy characters.
Yeah. I disagree on many fronts, but I'm going to get into that in a second with our next pick. Dude, you pissed me off. Like, listen, I'm glad I'm glad that it's not number one, but Jesus Christ, dude, that is fucking insane. Anyway, I'm going to get into Jurassic World. I agree with a lot of what you said, actually, in that I like the angle of using dinosaurs as military weapons. It's silly, but it's also like a new step for the franchise. I like that we actually got to see the park opened, which is something we never got to see in the other films, which is interesting. I love the dinosaur that's in the water that pops out of the water to eat people in places and things at just the right time. I love that one intern or babysitter lady got absolutely fucked up by like 7 dinosaurs for no reason other than it was fun to see. I love that the movie's pace. It's made at a breakneck pace. I thought Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard were really excellent in the film. I also liked the kids. This is one of the few movies where I thought the kids weren't that annoying. And here's what else I'll say. I'm a huge non-believer. Not non-believer, I should say, because it's subjective. But I don't personally buy into like, the franchise failed us later on, so therefore this movie is now not as good. I completely reject that school of thought personally, because no one could take away my love for Force Awakens or my mostly love for The Last Jedi, actually. But I don't like The Rise of Skywalker. I don't particularly go back to Force Awakens and be like, ugh, anymore. I mean, yeah, do I think like, oh man, it really set it up for something different, but, it doesn't take my love away from the movie. It doesn't take my love away from Jurassic World 1, which, has some issues, by the way. Let's not here pretend that it's a perfect movie. I think the quality jump between 2 and 1 is significant, I do want to add. But, the film does have some very convenient story placings. It has a CEO character that seemingly dies for no reason other than to have a cool shot of the dinosaur on the ground and added nothing to the plot. There are some comedic performances and characters that are essentially wasted. And, there are not good things in the movie. But overall, I thought it was a great source of fun. And we hadn't seen a Jurassic Park movie in a while when this film came out. And it felt revived. The franchise felt like, oh, yes, this is kind of what the audience was missing out on, was a movie like this. And, for that reason, it has a special place for me. At one point, before Star Wars beat it just a few months later, it was the biggest opening weekend of all time. And then Star Wars beat it in December. This came out in like July or June. But hey, I think it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it greatly. The other movies being bad don't really have a rewatch value effect on me for it personally.
I mean, it doesn't have an effect on the rewatch, but I think it does. Like, I think it holds its own. I think it's just that little reminder of like, I really don't want to watch the other two in this series, which is kind of disappointing, you know?
I gotcha.
I think they
All
just sort
right.
of like, I think there was an intriguing setup, but it's like we go from they opened up a new park to now there's genetically modified cicadas and a clone child.
No,
And you're like,
don't get me wrong.
Jurassic Park, Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3, you're like, there's a planet with dinosaurs or an island with dinos.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but that's why I put those films at 5 and 6. And to me, it has no effect at the other film being placed where it is, personally.
Interesting. Well, I will say this is Ryan Santo in the chat does say, "Don't you have a degree in movies, Dalton? How can you be so off base on this?" So it
Listen,
sounds like someone likes my list more.
let me cut to a single when I say this. Anyone with a film degree you should avoid, me included. they are not stable people. They are
I've been
not
trying
people with
since
happy
college,
lives.
and now I do a show twice a week.
Yeah, they do not have happy lives, and
Elixir says
it
in
also
the chat,
it buys you no extra knowledge either. Oh, go ahead.
Kylixer says, "I think Jurassic Park 1 is the best." I think
Well,
if you look at
spoiler
the list
alert.
on the screen, spoilers. Well, hold on. Well, spoilers for the time, but you have not. Why did my lights just turn? That's weird. That's creepy. I didn't
That's
like
God
that.
telling you your list is fucked up. That's what that
Or
is.
that I have a great idea. Ha 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 ha. No, listen. I'm going to go on my soapbox. There we go. Purple. More aesthetic. Jurassic Park
Jesus.
3. Am I allowed to go now?
Yeah, go ahead. Fuck it. I'm gonna give you a single because I can't
Oh,
stand to
boy.
fucking.
Jurassic Park 3 is the only movie series here that knows what it is. And when I say that, I am not including Jurassic Park 1 because I think that is the best one. I think in terms of everything that these movies are trying to be, right? We talked about earlier on the show the Godzilla Kong effect. I want to see the monkey fight the lizard. Jurassic Park 3 knows that I'm there for the dinosaurs and it delivers. I think it brings back the original legacy characters in a more organic manner. I love that the whatchamacallit, the way they bring back in why am I blanking? What's the lead character's name?
Alan Grant.
Alan Grant. I love the idea that he's so broke from this that he has to take this job and he's begrudgingly doing so. I think that's fun. I think him having the nightmare scene with the raptor on the plane is just campy and it's fun. I would also argue that the Pterodon aviation facility sequence, easy top, I'll go top 3 in the franchise in terms of dinosaur sequences.
It is a fun sequence.
That terrified me as a child. I think it's great. I love the adventure aspect. I found the plot of the kid being on the island surviving very intriguing. And I think that just the banter, these worried parents, the begrudging hero, I think it all just works really well for me. And again, it's just fun and it has dinosaurs. I do have a fond memory of it. You know how like cars and like trucks, big trucks used to have like DVD players on them? Like
Oh yeah, no, I had the Jurassic Park 3 in the Suburban as well.
Everyone has had a Jurassic Park 3 in the Suburban. It is a communal, universal experience. And I watched the fuck out of that movie. I'm going to be honest with you. And so while I think there is a little nostalgia for me, I think Jurassic Park 3 just one, I can bring in my own nostalgia and my own endurance toward the film. But I do think it's a great film. And I feel fine and confident placing it in second place. I think there's an argument though overall though that they go in order. I think there's a very strong argument that the ranking is actually 1, 2, 3, World, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion. But I let my own emotions come in.
And that's fine. That's why we're here. We're here to get emotional. And I
like
think
William
that
H. Macy and Tia Leone. They're good
No,
actors.
of course. I do as well.
Which one has
I think
Mr.
most
Noodles from
Mr.
Elmo?
Noodles.
The guy who plays Mr. Noodles.
I can't remember. But
Hold on.
wow,
If that's 3, it's gonna help my argument a lot.
go for it.
Hold
Go
for
for it.
show. Hold for show. We're looking up who He's played by Bill Irwin, who has not appeared in Jurassic Park. Yes, he has.
Did you dream this?
I could have sworn that I didn't. I very well could have.
See,
I swear to God, there was someone in Jurassic Park 3 that I later found out. I was like, that's who that is.
as you can see, everyone, people who put Jurassic Park 3 in their top 3 ranking are clearly delusional and make up characters in films.
I swear to God, I will figure out what I'm thinking of.
All right, while you're doing that, let me just say, can I attack you while you're struggling? So yeah. I think every point you made was fucking ridiculous. No, I'm kidding. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of the subjectivity of it all, and I think that the fact that you have such a fun attachment to this movie, I think is wonderful, and I liked hearing your arguments for it. I just disagree heavily, but that's okay.
Okay, so
what'd you find?
I found it. So Bill Irwin is the original Mr. Noodle actor. But then there was another Mr. Noodle actor that came in later like spin-off things of Elmo, like Elmo's World and stuff, not like core Sesame Street.
Uh-huh.
And he was Mr. Noodle, and he also played Mr. Noodle's brother, Mr. Noodle. And he's in Jurassic Park 3, therefore best Jurassic Park movie.
Okay. Oh, hold on.
Can I tell you how happy I am that was real? I probably would have.
Were you really worried for a second?
I was very worried because then I had to try to take that and figure out where I pulled that from.
That's a fever dream. Really quick in the live chat, the Morgan Campbell says his top 3 are the original novel by Michael Crichton, the 1993 film by Steven Spielberg, and the 8-minute short film Battle at Big Rock. Listen. That's cheating, bro. We were doing the live-action movies, okay? Clearly yours is correct. But come on. Come on,
dude.
It's
just cool that you can read? I can't read, so I haven't read the book.
The book's very good, by the way. I'm not a firm believer in the book is always better than the movie, but in this case, I think it is. I think the book is better, but I think they're also very different stories. Like, there's a decision that's made in adapting the movie where it deviates very specifically that I think really worked for the movie. The book story is a little bit different, but I think it was perfect for a novel, and this was perfect for a movie. Speaking of being perfect for a movie.
Here's my question, though. Which book is better, Jurassic Park or Jaws?
Jurassic Park, and it's not even close. The book Jaws, ass. I almost hate that book. Park. The movie, yes. In my opinion, yes. Not everyone agrees.
Interesting. Okay. All
right. I'm very harsh on the Jaws book, but, I didn't think it was that good. Anyway, getting into number 1, it's obviously fucking Jurassic Park for both of us. At least you have that. Obviously, this movie is a top-tier Spielberg movie. I actually had a great chance to see this movie on the big screen during the pandemic, when they were putting a lot of classic movies back in theaters in order to kind of re-gauge audience interest in going back to the movies. And I'd only ever seen Jurassic Park on home video, whether it be VHS, DVD, 4K, which, by the way, the 4K is very good. And I'd never seen it in a theater before, like with the picture and sound, or with an audience. And luckily, because during the pandemic, those movies had mixed crowds of who was going to show up. And luckily, the people in the crowd it was pretty packed. It was relatively packed. I mean, you had the mask, you had every other seat not bought. But that movie plays so fucking well with a crowd in a theater. And I'm so happy that I got to see it on the big screen. It was a really special day. And, just the overall filmmaking on display here, Spielberg at his peak, it's everything. It's everything. It has a compelling story. It has amazing characters, wonderful performances, groundbreaking visual effects, groundbreaking practical effects, and a musical score by John Williams that everyone knows. It is a classic, certified classic, and, it's a masterpiece of its genre. I love this film. This is nothing new to most people, but I will now let you do your bit on Jurassic Park, Nicholas.
Okay, well, hold on. Ryan Santos said, God, you're so wrong tonight. And Kyler just says, Nick, what's behind you? Which freaked me out. Bookshelves and an orb. For those curious, that's my pondering orb. All good wizards have them. No, I mean,
fuck?
I agree with you. Listen, Jurassic Park is number one for a reason. To be honest with you, I think 2 through 6, I don't think any other movie in this series comes close to the heights of that first one.
Oh, no, not even close.
Like we're saying like 1 and 2, whatever your 2 is, it's like 1, and then we're all the way down here when we get to 2.
Correct.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a classic. I think it's one of those movies that no matter how old it gets, I think it still holds up, even from like an effect standpoint. Because there's a lot of robots, right? Typically there in that. I think the introduction, the concept was cool. I think it's just a great adaptation, and I think that Spielberg's a pretty good director. I could see him going places.
When is he going to make the big one?
When is Spielberg going to make the big one, That's the real question.
How far did we go without talking about Mr. DNA?
The best
staple
part,
of the franchise.
I fucking love Mr. DNA. He is
As
my
you
favorite
should.
character. He's my favorite character.
As you should.
The Universal or Islands, wherever Velocicoaster is, has so much Mr. DNA merch, and I love it. They have like a thermos. It's cool. He's a great character.
Yes,
a lot of people hate him, but not me.
He's
a great guy. Ryan Santos says Cowboys vs. Aliens already came out, guys. Did Spielberg correct that? Spielberg corrected that?
Who?
Spielberg?
No, that was Jon Favreau.
I assume that was a reference to the big one. Cowboys vs. Aliens is good, though.
It might have been a reference to just something else we had mentioned while we were talking about it. But everybody, guys, what do you think of the Jurassic Park franchise? Please put your rankings in the live chat, in the chat afterwards. I would love to go through everybody's rankings and see what they thought of the Jurassic Park franchise. Thank you guys so much. And what?
Give you a little spoiler here, too. I put a poll at the beginning of the show. We only have 5 votes. But that's Jurassic Park is winning at 60%.
There you go.
Other got 20%, and Jurassic Park 3 got 20%. I voted for Jurassic Park 3.
Of course you did. I know you did.
Kylixer says exactly in the order they came out. That's fair. I would agree with that if I wasn't biased toward 3. I think if I didn't have Jurassic Park 3 in the Subaru, it's there.
In the Subaru.
In fairness, actually it was a oh my god, what are they called? Tahoes. It was a Tahoe.
Yeah.
I'm probably confusing Kylixer though, because I was actually with him today, and my order is different than what I told him it was. I like to keep things interesting.
You got to keep them on their toes.
Favreau and Spielberg, they look so alike. No comment.
I'm not touching that. Anyway, guys.
Says Letterboxd won't let me log the book. I've tried. They let you log TV shows. Why not throw a book in there?
Yes, that's fair. Guys, we are now going to move on to the big news stories that we have locked up for you guys. We have a few fun ones to talk about here. First off, if you watch this show for any period of time, you know that both Nick and I are huge fans of Ben Affleck, both as a director and as an actor. And in this case, we get to see him do both on the same project yet again. Because we have news about Ben Affleck's next big project for Netflix. And this is something we reported on a while back when it was under a different guise of different situations going on, which we're going to get into. But here are the latest details in Ben Affleck's next big project right here. It will be a Netflix original. It will now star Gillian Anderson from The X-Files. And the difference that happened is Matt Damon was originally set to star but dropped out due to scheduling conflicts and after issues with the rights delayed production. They'd also talked about how they went to a pause over some story issues and then came out of it. And Ben Affleck will now star in the role that Matt Damon was going to play because they are one soul, truly. I believe that as well. The source is Deadline, as you can see there. I highly recommend everyone go read the article. Nick, I don't know this, but I'm willing to bet money that Matt Damon got the Christopher Nolan call for Odyssey and went to Ben and said, dude, come on. Come on, dude.
I picture the Pepe the Prawn meme when he has like the arm over the guy, like, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna go do the Odyssey with Nolan.
I have to go do the Odyssey with Chris Nolan. I have to start prepping now. And Ben was like, yeah, man, go do it. I'm not gonna stop you. I got this shit. I could literally see Ben going, yeah, I got this shit. Don't worry about it. I'll play the character. It's fine. Give me some Duncan. I'm good.
I need a guy from Boston that's a Matt Damon type. Who can I get?
Yes, but anyway, this still excites me because, by the way, the movie is called Animals. It's a kidnapping thriller. And this movie excites me, honestly, mainly just because Ben Affleck is directing it. And anyone who's watched the show knows I'm a huge fan of Ben Affleck as a director. And I think that just having him be directing a new film is exciting, regardless of the circumstances around it. Gillian Anderson is interesting because I think she was at one point supposed to be in a new Dexter series. I could be dreaming this, but she didn't get into it because of scheduling conflicts, and I believe the scheduling conflict is this film. So I find that interesting. But I think Ben Affleck is a really underrated director. Of the films I've seen him direct, I think the only film I haven't seen is Live by Night, but I do have the Blu-ray. I just need to watch it. I love his style. I love his sensibility. I think he can tell very grounded stories in very heightened situations, and he creates really complex, morally gray characters. And I think he's really well done with that. And I'm looking forward to this. I have nothing but good things to say about this news. Nicholas, what do you think, buddy?
I mean, listen, it's always a good day when Ben Affleck's going to direct a new movie. I'm glad to see that it was not held up by Matt Damon exiting the project. It looked like it was just a lot of scheduling. I think it was a rights issue, right? Did we talk about that?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think that it makes sense. I'm glad to see that Matt Damon's involvement wasn't what was pushing the project forward. Sometimes a star being attached to a project and dropping out, can have that unfortunate effect, to sell it. But luckily, I think Ben Affleck's a good name. And I think that was probably the big selling point, right? Is Ben Affleck and Matt Damon together again. Who doesn't love to see it? But I think just having Ben Affleck on his own is still solid. I think he's a great director. He's a great actor. I mean, Gone Girl wasn't kidnapping per se, but I think that sort of drama thriller, I think he thrives in. And I think Gillian Anderson's a great addition to the cast. I've watched X-Files sporadically here and there, but I have enjoyed what I watched. Obviously, that's a little older. I think she was on that Netflix show Sex Education. I've heard that was really good.
Was she?
Yeah, I think she was like the mom of the main character, but I think she was like really involved in the series. So I mean, it's good news. I personally hope that Netflix maybe gives it a theatrical window, as they have set precedent on it. I think Ben Affleck's a big enough name to maybe that can hurdle past that. But these streamers have been attracting a lot of talent. Martin Scorsese did Killers of the Flower Moon for Apple. Ryan Johnson has been doing Netflix for Knives Out. So I'm happy to see that directors are sort of still gravitating toward it. I just wish that there was some more theatrical release elements to it. But Ben Affleck's directing a new movie at the end of the day. I'm on board. And to agree with Morgan Campbell in the chat, Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms. Yo.
Oh, hell of a reference. Hell of a reference. And I also agree with this comment about making a Mr. DNA spinoff with Tim Robinson voicing him. Absolutely. Something else I want to point out is Affleck is no stranger to working with Netflix, both as an actor. He was in Triple Frontier. And as a director, he worked with Amazon Prime on Air, which I really liked. I like that movie that he directed. Him and Matt Damon are going to star in a Netflix movie together from Joe Carnahan directing. I believe the movie's called R.I.P. I could be wrong about that. But they are in a new Netflix movie with Joe Carnahan. So clearly the relationship with Netflix seems to be going well. Will it get a theatrical release? I so fucking doubt it. I really hope it would, but I don't foresee that happening, unfortunately. But again, I'm just happy we're getting a new movie directed by Ben Affleck. But guys, what do you think of this news? Does this movie excite you? Let us know in the comments below as we move on to our next story. And Nicholas, this next one affects us directly. AMC A-List, which we're advocate fans of, is hiking their prices. Proud members. They are hiking their prices up by $2 whole. $2 whole. And Nicholas, not only are they hiking those prices up, but they're actually offering something in return. They are offering 4 movies a week instead of 3 now. It starts on May 7th, and you get an in-app profile photo, which means no more photo ID, and the price will increase, like we said, a little bit more. I'm going to throw it over to you so I can control my crazy dog really quick. You have fun, buddy.
No, listen, I think that this is great news. $1 to $2. I've seen that the price sort of fluctuates depending on where you're located. So for us here in Florida, we're getting from $24.99 to $25.99, which really not that big a deal at the end of the day. $12 whole more a year, but they are at least adding some user benefit, right? We are getting the 4th movie a week instead of 3, which I think is really beneficial. I think it's great. We're fortunate enough to be able to book a lot in advance. Dalton's able to book a lot in advance, which I appreciate. And sometimes those reservations stack up on you pretty sneakily, and you're not able to use one to go maybe do a double feature in a week because you got to wait. So I think that this is great, and I appreciate that they're adding value to doing. There's a reason for the price increase, and they're just looking for ways to add the value. I think not having to show the ID is going to be great because you don't have to fumble around with that. And I think they're lowering the age to like 13 or something, which, sure, it doesn't really matter too much. But I think the price is going up to like 27 or 28 in like California and New York, but it's typical for those markets. But as an advocate AMC fan, as an avid A-list user, I think this is just great news.
No, it is great news. And you are right, it is going to be a little bit more expensive in New York and LA. And they are lowering the age to 13, which I think is interesting. And I think this is a nice thing for kids to have anyway. Get dropped off at the mall, go see a Star Wars. It could be fun. But also, I like that it comes with a price increase, but I also like that they're actually giving you something in return, like you were mentioning. Like, it's not like the
Netflix.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not like the streaming services hike. So they're just like, it costs more and fuck you. That's it. See ya. Like, that's all.
Fuck you. Enjoy the new Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah,
and you're like, I will, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Exactly. And that actually goes to show Disney Plus lost a lot of subscribers in Q1. And when you look at when they quit, it was right at that price hike because it's getting these streaming services are getting to the point where you're going to have to start picking and choosing now. And
more expensive than cable now at this point, almost.
Essentially, yeah. No, they are. Yeah. They are. And so I'm glad that AMC at least had the wherewithal to offer something with the new price increase. And I wouldn't be surprised because earlier this year, they introduced new user agreement rules to be more strict on people using it. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one once this goes into effect. Would not be surprised. But yeah, as an avid AMC A-list user, I'm okay with this. I'm fine with it. I'm perfectly happy with it. And I will continue to be booking movies.
I'm going to go once a week. So as long as the value is still cheaper than that, I'm going to stick with it,
No, of course. And also, the ability to book movies, that is what's really attracting me to it. Nick did mention, and I'm going to give myself some credit, I am the movie booker for our 11-person A-list, which is very difficult in the city of Orlando when things get crowded. But just having a 4th slot is nice because I can't tell you how many times we've had 3 full and then tickets for a big movie drop, and I'm like, damn it, I can't get them because we have 3 and they're going to fill up, and then we're not going to have good seats. We're going to be split all over the place. It's a lot of pressure.
I mean, it's going to be beneficial in June or July when you have Jurassic Park Rebirth or Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, and Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yeah, which means we can have tickets for all of those and our weekly
and
one,
the movie,
so we can be good. Yeah,
I dig it. Yeah, no, it's and I think that was part of their marketing too. It's coming out right in May, and they were like, "Enjoy the summer blockbusters," and I said, "Thank you, I will."
I will, and I will make you regret this decision with the movie choices I make.
You will lose money on me. I will make sure of
Yes.
it.
Yes, absolutely. But guys, with that, that is the show for you today. I really appreciate those who stuck around in the live chat and those who watch later and comment later. We always appreciate you guys. We're going to be back with the show on Monday. The Monday show is going to be basically reacting to all of the Super Bowl trailers that come out on Super Bowl Sunday. I would have tried to do a live stream with them and all that, but I'd rather just take the Sunday off and watch the game and relax and not have to worry about all that. But we will be covering all the trailers that happen on the Monday show, which will be fun. We'll also get into the box office, as of course we always do on Monday. And Nicholas, do you want to give the people anything else before we leave?
As always, all of our social media and stuff can be found in the description below, as well as links to some of our previous movie reviews, which we try to do for you as frequently as possible. And guys, we are less than 100 subscribers away from 5,000. Now,
Yes.
there's no significance to that other than that it's a nice number. So if you could help us
Yeah.
get any closer to that number, it is greatly appreciated. If you liked any of the rankings, if you like the movie news, just drop a like and a follow so we can keep bringing this to you.
And we're also less than 1 month away from Daredevil Born Again, which is just something I like to say often. Uh, but guys, again, with that, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next show.